Hello, welcome to the Y&Y YouTube channel. My name is Angela and all of the places you can find me should be linked in the description box just below this video. How are you today? It's Thursday the 16th or something like that of April as I'm recording this, and I'm going to have to take my glasses off the top of my head. I've got into this habit of pushing my glasses up on my head, but these are my giant glasses. I love them and they're distracting me up there. I can really see them. So I'm going to move those away. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Let's not talk about glasses anymore. I had a bit of a slow start to my day today. I haven't left the house, which, you know, in some ways is a good thing, but I do like to try and get out and go for a walk. But I haven't done that this morning. I woke up with a really big headache. It's still kind of hanging around a little bit, but I do have a bit more energy this afternoon than I did this morning. I had a pretty lazy morning, just sat on the sofa watching some rubbish on the telly, which I don't usually indulge in much in the day, but yeah, I just felt like I needed a slow start to the day. I haven't done any work, so I'm just taking a day off today. So now the day has progressed, I'm feeling like I want to get on and do something, just so I feel like I have achieved something with my day. So I've come up to my craft room and I am going to try and organise my fibre stash. So if I just swing you around a little bit, I'll show you what I'm talking about. I think in one of my extras I mentioned about organising my hand spun stash. So I wanted to measure, calculate and sort of properly label all of my hand spun yarn, which I've done. As you can see, I keep everything in plastic up here. It is an attic room, and I do in the summer have to have the windows open quite a lot because it can get quite stuffy. So I like to try and keep everything wrapped up so it is protected from moths and insects and things like that. So yeah, hand spun is done. I've got another basket just down out of shot because it didn't all fit in here, but I've got these sort of 4x1 units from IKEA, and I've got two of these stacked together over here, and the rest of the unit space has got my fibre stash in it. I want to make sure that all of the fibre that's stored in here is also listed on my Ravelry pages, so that when I come to spin through it, I can be a little bit better with my record keeping and just convert my stash entry to a hand spun entry on Ravelry. So that's my job for this afternoon. I pull all this out and just photograph anything that hasn't been photographed and upload it all to Ravelry, so I know exactly what I have. I am going to try and spin through the majority of my fibre stash over the next few months. It'll probably take the rest of this year. There's 6 of these sort of cubbies jam full of fibre, which I've collected over the last couple of years before I even really started spinning seriously. I picked up sort of braids here and there, and I picked up a few from D-Stash on Ravelry, and I've noticed that with some of those, particularly some of the fibres that I've picked up have had labels from the dyers on, of when they were sort of dyed, or if they were part of a fibre club, what year that fibre club was. And I've noticed that some of the older fibres are a bit compacted, a bit harder to spin. So I have decided that for myself I want to try and have a sort of minimal fibre stash. So I'm trying not to buy anything other than my Nelly and Eve plant dyed fibre club, which I get every month. I get a braid every month. So for the time being, until I get through most of this, I'm going to try really hard to resist buying fibre, and at the moment that's pretty easy because money. But that's okay, I have plenty of stuff to work through. So yes, that is what I'm planning to do immediately, and then if I get that done relatively quickly, I think there's probably only a few things here that need to go on Ravelry, but if I slowly swing you around, if I get that done, I'm going to move to my yarn stash. So my yarn stash is in similar units over the other side of the room, so yeah, I think you can see that there, my finger there. And a little while ago I had a bit of a clear out, and in this tote down here I've actually got some yarns that I want to list on Ravelry for D-Stash, but that means that I've got a couple of the cubbies down the bottom here that are empty, and I've got a tote of yarn similar to this one over the other side of the room, of yarns that I've purchased more recently and I have plans for. So I want to bag those all up and put them into the cubbies there. So I don't know whether I'll get both things done this afternoon. It just depends on how quickly I get through the fibre stash, really. I have been thinking about my reorganisation and my storage systems. I, as you know by now, am pretty nosy. I like to put questions to everyone out there who is watching. So yeah, I'm just wondering about whether you have any fancy storage systems for your craft supplies. I'm lucky enough to have quite a large room at the very top of our house in the attic to call my very own, to keep all of my stuff. But there are not many options for storage in this room because it is an attic room. The ceilings are sloped, so let me swing you back around again. If you can see, at the top of those units is where the slope of the ceiling starts, so you can really only have a few storage units of that height scattered around the room. And then if I swing you over a little bit more, you'll see there's a cupboard door next to those cubbies, so there's inbuilt storage under the eaves of the roof, but you have to get on your hands and knees to access that storage. So we tend to use those cupboards for things that we don't need to get into very often. So the Christmas trees in there, there are some like old CDs and DVDs, things like that perhaps have some sentimental value that we don't want to get rid of, but don't need access to all the time. I've got my paper craft supplies, which and my cross stitch supplies in one of the cupboards, because I don't grab those very often, but it does mean that I can't put storage units all along the walls, because it would just be a real pain if I had to drag those out when I wanted to access the things in those cupboards. So yeah, let me know, do you have any ingenious systems for keeping your craft items? Maybe you don't have that much of a stash and you just have a basket or two hanging around the house with everything crammed in, or maybe a drawer or a cupboard. I'd really love to know, because not only am I nosy, but I also have one of those, how do I put it? I'm naturally messy, okay? There's no way around it. I am a pretty untidy person, but I do love seeing all of these amazing sort of pictures on Pinterest and on Instagram of people's tidy, creative spaces with lots of ingenious storage kind of systems. But I don't think I'll ever get to that point. But a girl can dream. Yeah, I'd love to mine the collective hive mind out there and find out if any of you have any storage ideas that I hadn't come across or thought of, or things that might work in the room and the space that I've got here that haven't crossed my mind before. So please do let me know in the comments below. That was really all I wanted to hop on today and chat to you about. So yes, I need to crack on with those jobs that I've set myself. So as much as I love talking to you, I'm going to sign off for now. Until we get to spend some time together again, I hope that you get to do some of the things that you enjoy. Great big woolly hugs to you all. Bye for now.